All right, Barack, first category. In 2021 so far, who is your rising star in boxing?
Rising star. I'd have to say, this is a tough one because Devin Haney been a champion already. Ryan Garcia had an incredible win with a one-punch knockout. You got Edgar Berlanga. The streak is over, but he showed that he can box, even got a knockdown in the last round, the 8th round. It would be one of, I can't say Devin Haney because he's already a champ now. So I would say it's between Ryan Garcia and Edgar Berlanga. Let's just say Ryan Garcia because it was a one-punch knockout.
Barack, I like all of those picks. I would have to disagree with you. I think Ryan Garcia was already a rising star before the Campbell win. That was a hell of a win, but he was already a popular fighter. I would have to say, in my opinion, I'll have to pick Naoya Inoue because though he has a ton of accolades and he's done a lot in the sport, he wasn't really recognized as a superstar until recent. So I'm going to say that he is a star now, so he's my rising star.
You do one feature on ESPN and all of a sudden now this guy's a superstar.
I knew you was going to say that.
He's not a freaking superstar yet.
Whatever,
yeah.
He's a rising star.
That's why it says
he's a
multi-division champion already.
And he's a rising star.
Stop it.
All right, whatever. That's my pick. All right, next.
All right, the next is knockout in these mid-year awards. Knockout of the half a year. Who?
I got to go with Valdez versus Belichick, all right? That was a one-punch knockout that was pretty vicious early on in the year. And later on in the year, we're going to give you a real award show. I don't know. That still might be the knockout of the year then if nobody has a better knockout, by the end of the year. But that was it, Barack. I think it's unquestionable.
Absolutely. That was back in February of this year, and it was unexpected. He was the underdog in that fight, and that's why it's even more significant. And it was a one-punch knockout at that.
All right, well, first half recap. Next category, Barack, the fight. Which is the fight that has impressed you the most in 2021?
The most intriguing one that I think, it's not just the fight alone, but it was also, what it stood for, and it was for the undisputed at super lightweight. And that was huge to me, and that was Taylor versus Ramirez. Beautiful, beautiful fight. Ramirez went down twice, but he was a dog. He got back up, he finished the fight. But Taylor showed that he belongs in that elite conversation in that fight. Maybe not with the Pacquiaos that he's saying that he wants, or Terrence Crawford, who knows, that's yet to be seen. But he proved himself that night, and that was just a big part of boxing, getting an undisputed champion at 140 pounds.
Yeah, no, that's a hell of a fight, Barack. My pick was Gervonta Davis versus Barrios because of his weight jump and the fact that Barrios made it an entertaining fight and ended dramatically. I think overall was my favorite fight to watch. It was super entertaining, so that's going to be my fight so far in this recap.
All right, next category, probably the most prestigious, fighter.
Barack, that's a difficult one right there. There are a lot of fighters first half of this year that had big wins. We've been talking about them in other categories. Obviously Gervonta Davis, Oscar Valdez, Josh Taylor, big win, unifying the division. A lot of big fights. You got Jamel Herring beating Frampton. I would still have to go with Canelo Alvarez beating Billy Joe Saunders, unifying the division, setting, on a big stage, 73,000 people in Cowboy Stadium, and ending it in dramatic fashion, breaking his orbital bone in 4 places. I was struggling with, to me that was the biggest moment, but I had to give that to Canelo Alvarez. I think so far it was a close call, but I have to pick Canelo for that.
Damn, I hate that I agree with you, man. I hate that I agree with you. I would definitely have to say it's Canelo in the way he dispatched Billy Joe Saunders, especially since we've been saying, not we, but so many people have been saying, well, which is true, in the past 8 years ago, boxers gave him trouble. Boxers with good footwork gave him trouble. Even you said you didn't think the fight was going to be that easy, and he made it easy. besides Chris Mannix's scorecard, you know. But he made it easy, you know. Shout out to Chris Mannix too for having us on his show, man. Great show,
sure.
Boxing with Chris Mannix. But I would have to agree with you. That's right now. That's the fighter who I'd have to say is like the fighter of the 6-month recap.
That's right. All right, let's talk about the moment, Barack. What moment moved you? Whether you were in the arena, watching it on TV, in 2021 on this recap, what was the most memorable moment for you?
Well, it would have to be the famous tackle.
What tackle was that?
The famous tackle
please remind people.
At Billy Joe Saunders' fight against Canelo. When his father tried to run towards the ring, he jumped over the fence and he tried to run towards the ring, and that security guard went in a 3-point stance and tackled him above and beyond. He might need to get slapped up, the security guard. I don't like that you did that to an old man, but at the end of the day, I guess it was his job. I think he could have just probably stood in his way. He didn't have to do a full tackle, but that was the moment that I want to highlight.
All right, well, Barack, my moment is going to be the same guy in the last category. You might call me a fanboy or something like that.
You are, yeah.
But being
fanboy.
ringside in that arena, in Cowboy Stadium, when Canelo landed that uppercut, and you seen immediately what happened to Billy Joe's face. That moment, I looked at you, you was like, he broke his damn face. Like, I remember that moment, the look on everybody's eyes, the way Billy Joe was walking back to the corner. Canelo knew what happened when he walked to his corner. That moment right there was the biggest moment in 2021 for me because I was front center.
You know what, though? To add to that just a little bit, being amongst 73,000 fans in America, because we kind of know what that feels like in the UK. You know, we've been there when they had upwards of 80,000 fans. But that was special. And bigger than just being there, it was just a statement that boxing is not dead and that people need to stop saying that. Okay.
Yeah.
Another
category. You agree with me again. Go ahead, say it.
Yeah. I do. All right, here. This one is the SMH category, shaking my head, you know, something that happened that you wish didn't happen.
All right, Barack, the one thing that should have never happened in 2021 in the world of boxing is a referee by the name of Steve Gray taking the towel and throwing it back to the corner after a young man's father in his corner, Ritson's dad, threw in the towel to stop the fight because his son was taking too much punishment in the Ponce Ritson fight, and the ref allowed the fight to continue a little longer and allowed him to get hit a little more. For I don't know what reason, Barack, nothing justifies that. Once a corner stops a fight, that should be it, and this referee was out of pocket. And yes, in my opinion, I said it on the show, he should never be able to ref a fight again after that.
Wow, you just, that's the second person you just want to make homeless. First Gamboa and now Steve Gray. I'm saying it's not that bad. I seen a ref catch a towel one time and threw it out. I know
if the opponent would have died, then it would have been real bad.
What he was saying was he's saying that Ritson got hit to the body.
So what?
You know he was hurt, but you can continue. You know, you're not going to get a concussion by getting hit to the body, but you could have broken ribs, so you never know. You know, but my shaking my head moment, my SMH moment is the holding that Logan Paul did against Floyd. And the reason why that's my shaking my head moment, because that's literally what I was doing. Like, you're robbing Floyd of a knockout. Smart, you're making a whole bunch of money. Smart, you're making sure you don't get knocked out. But it just ruined the fight. You didn't give us.
In other words, I want to please Barack and these fans and let Floyd knock me out.
No,
that's
not
what
just
should happen.
That. Not just that. If you talked a whole bunch of crap beforehand, Floyd's old, you're gonna knock him out, you're too big, and all you're doing is holding for 8 rounds. Come on. That's why I went like that. I'm like, oh God, are you serious? You're 30 pounds more than this guy.
I mean,
you know,
look,
and you're holding. That's all I'm saying.